So without further ado, let's hear from the leader for this initiative on the Perth College himself, Toby Shannon. Toby.
Thanks very much, Chris. Talking about passion, there's so many people, and you saw the little video, it's not just me with passion. In fact, I wouldn't do this if it was just me with passion. I wouldn't be interested. I know it would be a losing cause. It may not work anyway. It's going to take a whole community of people with passion, and this is what I see here. Over 200 people with this room jammed right to the rafters. So thank you very much, and please give yourself a round of applause just for coming out and supporting your community. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the problem is and what I think the solution can be. I've talked to many people to get to this spot. It may not be the definitive solution. This is a moving problem. I find almost every week we learn new stuff. Some of those weeks we feel better about what we're learning. Some of those weeks we feel worse. That's just the nature of a gig like this, I guess. And I am hopeful and optimistic that we can come to a solution. But I think what's better is if I download everything I know so that then you can know that. And then what I've discovered is I get good advice when people in the community know stuff. And I have been solicited, I would say, every day, every second day with someone who says, here's what you should do and why. They're not always good ideas, but often they are. And I get, and the real heartwarming thing is I often get advice from people who say, here's what I would do, and I'm willing to do it right now for free. And you see all the lawn signs, and you see the commitment, and you see all the community support when it comes to leaders and mayors and deputy mayors, many of them here, and MPs and MPPs. And it's just really heartening to know that at least we're onto something in terms of a push in the community. So I'll just introduce myself. I grew up just down the road. I grew up in Gillies Corners. I've lived here all my life. Went to high school in Carleton Place. Went to Queen's University. I was an entrepreneur by inclination, which just means I was a university dropout, no good at anything else. I've been successful, which is super lucky, but the vast majority of my early career, I was incredibly unsuccessful, and that's what it means to be an entrepreneur. I failed many times. You learn way more by failing. I did start a thing with a crazy guy in Ottawa. Create a little kit that you spit in, you get DNA from. If you've ever taken a 23andMe test or an Ancestry.com test, that little kit was started right here in Ottawa. Time magazine called it the invention of the year 2006. Very proud of that. And then I went and hung out with a couple guys in a coffee shop, 6 of them. Those 6 guys became Shopify. And I retired 3 years ago as the chief operating officer. I'm still on the board. And so again, I've been exceptionally fortunate. And what I would like to do now in the, let's say the last quarter, last third of my life, last half, is see if I can bring some of that entrepreneurial know-how and passion right back to my community. So that's me in a nutshell. This thing, Build Canada, is a thing that we spun up, a bunch of entrepreneurs, a lot of Shopify folks, but we've been now getting CEOs and entrepreneurs all around Canada, and we're writing memos that we're giving to the government, completely nonpartisan, just about building. So like, can we build infrastructure? Can we build roads? Can we build the things that make the Canadian economy flourish and the Canadian citizenry flourish? Again, completely nonpartisan, and it seems like the current government is listening. My memo that I wrote was about the recognition of skilled trades. So it's a thing that's near and dear to me, and I should say, before I was an entrepreneur, I worked for 10 years, mostly for my old man, but for a few other companies as well, in construction. It's a family business. My son's a builder and a carpenter. My son-in-law is a millwright. My nephew's a builder. And one of the words you're going to hear over and over again in my spiel is building. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think this community was built exceptionally well, and I think we can bring that building energy back so that we can create a better, more wonderful place for our kids and our grandkids. So building as a way to human flourishing and cultural flourishing is a big thing that I would like this college to be about.